Hi everyone, welcome to Keeping It Unfiltered. So today's topic is, who are your real friends? To be honest, this topic is way more complex than people think. Like, all right, let's just rule out the obvious stuff. Someone who's not your real friend is someone who talks about you, someone who has malicious motivations, like being your friend just to get some information out of you, someone who talks down on you, and someone who keeps you around just to try to make themselves look good. Um, yeah, I feel like those are the obvious ones. But what about the not so obvious stuff? Like, for example, I just had this opinion, and I feel like a lot of people do too, that a person can still be your friend even though they're friends with somebody that does not like you or that you don't like. Hear me out before y'all say something. If you think about it, right? Some people stop being friends. Like, there'll be friend groups. I had that happen to me before, where the friend group fell out and then I was still friends with the one person and obviously the other two weren't friends. And I just feel like that didn't make me less of a friend to either one of them. Now, it's like if someone was talking behind the other person's back or said anything, like, and usually it was like a general statement more so. I wouldn't say necessarily gossiping because obviously I care about that person too. I would have to say something. Like, some of y'all be friends with the other person and then be gossiping. That kind of don't make any sense. Especially, like, when you're trying to be neutral in a situation. Like, you can't really be neutral and then talk about the other person. You know? Moving on. A way to, like, eliminate who should be your friend and who shouldn't is if that person does not have friends. Like, I don't know if anybody else see that as like a red flag, but I do, because I'm just like, why doesn't anyone want to be a friend? Like, you telling me nobody in the world, like, you ain't even got a best friend? What's really going on? Y'all ever think of that? Anywho, the next thing is, a real friend is gonna be somebody that tells you about yourself. Listen, y'all, I'm over people being mad at their friends for respectfully telling them about themselves. I just feel like you're not a real friend if you allow your friend to act any type of way and not like correct them on their actions. That's kind of crazy. Like, why wouldn't you want to sit there and just tell your friend about themselves? Like, but here you go. There are limits to these things though, because you can sit there and tell your friends about their spending habits, but if they don't want to change it, they don't have to. Like, you are not their parent, okay? I feel like I've probably been in this position before too, where I was really concerned about my friend and the different type of habits that they had. And I sat there and I let them know about themselves and they didn't change it. And I just felt like, no, like, this is the right thing to do. You should definitely change it. Like, who am I? If they want to spend their money their way, they want to spend their money, let them. If they want to, let them. Okay. I feel like you should tell them how you truly feel, but at the same time, like, you got to let your friend just be your friend. You get what I'm saying? A lot of times I feel like we'll be a friend group and they think that there's a smartest out the group. There's not a smartest. Birds of feathers. What do they call that? I don't know. They flock together. So if you hanging around that group and you feel like your friend is on something, it's doing a little hot. No, I'm that serious. Like, if you genuinely feel like, your friend has a nasty character, they're a terrible person, and you're hanging around them, that says something. I'm not gonna lie. I had a friend before and I literally had to cut them off because I didn't like the way they were carrying themselves. I'm not gonna say that it was easy. I love that friend. I love all my friends, genuinely. So if you are my friend and you're watching this, I love you. I really do. But I'm just saying, like, I had to back up from that person. And it's just because I didn't like the way they were carrying themselves. I didn't want to be grouped in that too. And the actions that they were doing, I didn't want someone to associate me with them or thinking that I think that this is okay, because I thought it wasn't at all. Also, too, oh my gosh, this is when I really want to hit the friends that have an issue with you hanging out with your significant other. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And I'm not even in a relationship right now, but I completely understand if one of my friends or any of my friends that are in a relationship, if they're hanging out more with their significant other, why do people have a problem with that? Like, why is that an issue? That's what they want to do. That's their boo, especially when they're starting off in a honeymoon phase. Shoot, they might be in a honeymoon phase for years. As long as your friend is not, neglecting you completely, I feel like that there is nothing wrong with them wanting to be up under their partner's skin for majority of the time, because I'm gonna just put it like this: their partner can do a lot of stuff for them that you can't, friend. And figure out what I'm talking about. Read between the lines, okay? Another thing too, people are not less of your friend because y'all don't speak every day. People have lives. People get new jobs. People get, I don't know, new things that they need to do in life, new responsibilities. Like, I don't know who made up that you need to talk to your friend every day. Like, it's one thing if you're playing around and you're like, oh my gosh, girl, you're not talking to me all the time. Or, I haven't talked to you in a few days. Like, that's different. But for you to genuinely be mad that your friends aren't texting you, like, I really have a problem with that. As long as that person is still, like, hitting you up here and there and not completely forgetting about you, I don't see why that is a problem, especially when you know that the circumstances in their lives change. This is another thing. Friends that get mad at friends for something and then don't say anything. Nobody is a freaking mind reader. If you have a problem with one of your friends, I really don't understand why you can't sit there and tell them. What is the difficulty? Now, it's different if you have like a friend group and you're talking to the other friend like, hey, I don't know how to approach them. But like, for you to really have a problem with your friend and not want to sit there and pull them to the side and talk to them or call them up on the phone because I know you got their number, you should be able to speak to them. That's odd. Another thing too, that person is not your friend if they're subbing. Oh my gosh. I literally had somebody do, a few people do this. Yo, I had people do this to me and they think I didn't see it. No, I just completely distanced myself from you. And the first time I called it, I probably said something. And then the second time, I'm just like, you know what? You're not even my friend for real. Because you're not going to sub me. When you got a problem with me, or if other friends got problems with each other, why isn't the person messaging them? Like, especially me. I'm calm. I can have a conversation about anything. And then a lot of times when I've seen other friends do it to other friends, they can have a conversation with no problem. We grown, y'all. We grown. Don't do the subbing. Please. I've seen this a lot too, where it's just like the friend groups, like you introduce somebody to your other friend and then they start hanging out. Now, I mean, I guess I kind of get it because it's like, I mean, y'all were my friends first, but I just kind of feel like don't create that circle, right? Like, don't introduce them to each other, especially when it's not two big groups, but you got like, you introducing one person to another person. I just feel like your intentions should be in your mind, like, they might hang out together and y'all shouldn't care. I don't know why people be like jealous. I don't know. I haven't felt that way. I'm trying to really think. Because, like, even the closest friends that I had now for, like, over 10 years, like, a lot of us met through another friend. And we've hung out separately. And even now, I got a friend that I met, like, not too long ago. Like, in the last year or so. And I know if we hung out separately, I don't think that my friends that I've known for 10 plus years would be jealous. I just think that they would think, like, oh, okay, they're hanging out together. Maybe somebody can explain that to me. Like, why is that such a thing? But I'm just pointing out to say, like, those are still your friends. It's different if you feel like they're literally, like, taking you out of the group. But some people will literally say, like, oh, yeah, that's so weird. Like, how they get to hang out together and stuff. You were at work. Like, what? That's weird to me. People who are jealous of you, let's talk about it. I just feel like, I don't even know how to say this in the right way, but in a way, they're still your friends. I literally had a friend tell me that they were jealous of me before. And at first, I didn't really know how to take it because I'm like, I've been hanging around you and you were jealous of me. But at the same time, it's like, I guess it's better to admit it than not to say it. Like, when I brought that up to another friend, like, I guess it was better to like admit it than not to say anything at all about it. Um, because I don't know. I guess it could give you something to look out for, or maybe, whatever that person was jealous of, excuse me, whether it was something like you had, excuse me, I might be cropping out these burps because I wanted to pick up on the mic. But imagine. Yeah, I've been cracking myself up. Like, I don't know. It wasn't that funny. It wasn't that funny. All right. What was I saying? All right. That friend that admitted that, like, maybe you could figure out what it is that they like that you have that they don't have, and like kind of help them out with that, if that makes sense. I just don't think it's always a bad thing. Now, it becomes a bad thing when like everything good that's going for you, or like, for example, say if your friend doesn't have money and you're trying to get something and they're just telling you like, no, don't do that. Like, no, you shouldn't get that. Like, just because you can't afford it, that doesn't mean I don't have to get it. Please keep that in mind, everybody. Let me repeat that. Just because you can't afford it, that does not mean I can't get it. And honestly, I mean, I understand some people, like, especially if they're going through something in their lives where that jealousy might seek out a little bit. But I just still feel like you should be supportive, or you should be happy for that person. Or if a person has opportunities coming their way, please remember that y'all are 2 different people, or 3 different people, or 4 different people, 5 different people, whatever, how big your friend group is. And I don't even mean that particular friend group, your friends outside that little group that you have. Y'all are different people. Opportunities are going to come at different times. Okay? Keep that in mind. Oh, the people that, you can't talk to them about your problems, but all they do is talk to you about their problems. Screaming red flag, y'all. That is a screaming red flag. And I get the part of being the friend that's like the most supportive and listen to everyone's problems. But if your friend can't even simply ask you, how are you, and genuinely mean it, not asking how are you just so you can ask them how they are so they could talk about all their problems, that's an issue. It's different when it's a friend that, like, they just choose not to tell how they are and not tell their business. But if they say this happened to me, and then the other friend says, oh, well, this happened to me, and decide to go in detail and just ignore completely what the other friend said, that's really a problem. And I want you to reevaluate your friend. But I also have a big thing too about friends. As far as like putting them where they need to be. Not all your friends need to be your close friends. Not all your friends need to be your best friends. And maybe we need to stop using the word friend so loosely and call them associates at that point. So maybe you need to sit there and reevaluate your friendship and figure out like, hey, where do I stand with this person? Because I'm dedicating my time and my effort to them, and my listening and my mental, because now you're trying to think for them too, especially when they're in a place that, you're trying to get them out of, or that you tried to help them get them out of. Like, you got to think like, how much of an impact is that putting on to you? And you have to see like, okay, well, maybe I shouldn't keep lending myself to this friend, Like, I feel like we don't realize until it's too late how much we give to our friends. And make sure too, when you're pouring into your friend, they're pouring into you as well. Like, that is so important. It's too many times where I've seen or where I've been in a situation where I'm constantly taking everything that my friend is saying and how much help and all the things that they need. And I forget what I need for myself. And maybe my friend can't provide that for me, but I'm saying I'm taking my time to help my friend out, but I'm not taking the time to get myself together. Literally, y'all. Just because that person is your friend, you don't got to tell them everything. When did we, get there? It's a difference between, I don't even want to say that, a best friend and a friend, because I feel like a lot of people that I call my friends now are really like my family. But at the same time, you don't need to tell them everything. Some things you're allowed to keep to yourself. You're still a real friend or a good friend if you just do it yourself. Because, hear me out, when you are still, and this is not why I kept it to myself, me buying my house, so any of my friends, I don't want you to take it that way. But when you are literally in the process of doing something and you sit there and you tell that one friend, I believe that there is power in the tongue, and people will literally sit there, talk down on your situation, say things behind your back, hoping that you don't get that opportunity, or not even that. You could probably have people in your way in ways that you couldn't even explain. Take the time to yourself, get it down yourself, okay? When I was in the process of buying my house, I literally did not tell anybody. And I do not regret it at all. It was literally a handful of people I knew, I want to say 5. I didn't even tell my parents. And the reason for that is because, I just didn't need everybody's extra opinions about what to do. People who would throw out so many different comments, especially my parents. Love my parents to death, but I definitely think they would be looking at me like, huh? You about to do what? So it's just some decisions you need to make on your own, truthfully speaking. Move in silence. That also goes when you're doing things with your friends as well. That's all I'm trying to say. And you are still a real friend, because it's not like you're keeping a malicious secret. They're going to find out eventually, but you're working on you. Your friends don't need to know everything you're doing for you. Okay. Your friend should not be taking advantage of you. Now, I know I touched on the advantage part and soulmates and toxic ties, but bro, your friend should not be taking all your money. If you are that friend that does not want to go out and get a job, or you are that friend that constantly spends your money irresponsibly, even though your friends try to talk to you about it, you're allowed to say no. It does not make you less of a friend to say no. Let's normalize that, please. You're allowed to say no. But the friend should also stop asking you, because they know that you're going to do it out the kindness of your heart. I just feel as a friend or as a human, you know when you're kind of taking advantage. There's been a time where I had to tell a friend no. I was letting them borrow all the time. No shade towards them or anything. Love them to death. But I'm just saying, those are just things that gotta happen sometimes. And the thing is, what really got me was that I was letting people borrow money while I was saving for my house. And it was just girl, you gotta eventually say no. So let's normalize that. But you also, as that friend, should be dang, I should probably do something different than to keep taking from my friend. Don't keep taking money from your friend. And you know darn well if they ask for $30, you can't get them $30. Or if they ask for $10, you can't even give them $10. Or if they ask for a ride, you can't even give them a ride. Dang. This is a little heated episode. I'm going to calm down next time. I might. But yeah, that was everything for Who Are Your Real Friends. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to comment, like, and subscribe. And your girl is now on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Now, wait. Apple Podcasts been acting a little weird, but I am on Spotify. So, take a look at that. And I'll let you know when I'm on the other apps as well. The apps. Why I say it like that? Apps as well. And if you're wondering where I got my robe from, because I just love this robe so much, it's from Amazon. It comes with a hood too. Look. I don't even know why I'm promoting Amazon. But look. Well, this could be my thumbnail. But yeah, okay. See you guys next Thursday.